Let the name Mars ring across the battlefield, and bear witness to my enemy's flight!
Yo, what's up? It's Mini TV here, coming back at you once again with another video. I'm sorry I've been away, but it's been a long time, and I've been at uni and stuff, had a lot of work to do, and this and that, but excuses out the way now. I'm back with another video, and today we have a treat. It's a new patch. This hero has been going crazy. There's been open qualifiers going on right now, so I really wanted to show him to you. OG's been playing him in the mid role and the offlane role. You know, it's going to be sick. Today's hero is, if you haven't guessed already from the intro, Mars. This hero already, I think, in the previous patch was very good, and now with the buffs to his strength gain and also to his God's Rebuke, makes this hero insane. So without further ado, let's get into it. So guys, this is the game. Now, I have to be honest with you, I didn't play like an ideal game, definitely wasn't perfect. A lot of kind of mechanical skills wrong, but didn't matter because this hero is still so good. Not only that, but the kind of the draft was really favourable for me, not only from my own team but from the enemy team as well. So I ended up picking Mars, I think sort of second or third, and my team was picking up heroes like Willow and AA. Obviously, you know the Willow combo, that's really good, obviously with my Arena of Blood plus her Terrorize can make him keep bashing against the wall, so it's a really good combo in the team fights. But not only that as well, you'll see in this lane how good the combination between Willow and Mars is, because I can spear Mars, use the spear, into multiple different Bramble Mazes, doing a lot of extra damage, so watch out for that. But also AA is really nice as well. It's kind of a guaranteed Ice Blast. And not only that as well, but they pick like heroes like Dro, so obviously kind of squishy, I can run up onto her and she can't do damage into my Arena of Blood either. And they're kind of all, for the most part, kind of squishy. They had like a Phoenix mid and an offlane Wyvern, so pretty decent pick in this game. But I definitely didn't play this perfectly, but no need. As long as you have the theory, the mechanics isn't as important. But starting off though, you'll see here, so one Brandon Mage, he ends up running into two, then I instantly put it into a third, and just like that, that's enough to kill her, even though I do miss an auto attack there, which probably would have been the easier kill. We end up still killing her, but my Willow takes quite a bit of damage nonetheless. So first off, just talking about the iron build, pretty standard really. You need 3 sets of regen in terms of health regen, and then having 1 extra mango is nice because your mana is kind of pretty low considering you're a strength hero, for example. We end up missing both the runes, but we end up getting first blood, so not bad. Missed speed there. Things like that will happen in this game. But for the most part, in terms of the laning phase, I just want to try and secure as much CS as I can for myself, and if I can help out my support while he's boxing out and harassing the other support, I should do that, obviously with my Spear of Mars, for example. I kind of want to get the lane back as best as I can. Obviously securing range creeps again with my Spear of Mars. But this is kind of where I need the mango as well, because I'm already like nearly out of mana. So the whole idea in this laning phase is obviously if we can chase down the Dro, we're going to be in a good position, because they can't, like if we run at the Dro, she can't man up against us. So we need to get the lane control back first. So that's what I'm kind of trying to focus on to do. Deny obviously as much as I can, and pull in the creeps just to secure my own CS as well, because really important, if you can get like these early items like boots or soul ring, particularly in the early laning phase, it can completely help you out so much here. They overextend here. We had level 2, they didn't as well, and we end up securing a kill on the line because he's out of position. And it's a small thing, but that's where like the denies really come into play here. Like we were denying and we hit 2 like maybe 10 seconds before them, but that 10-second difference between us hitting level 2 and them hitting level 2, because they were level 1, we was able to go on top of them and secure another kill onto them. So one thing for sure as well is make sure you'll keep ferrying out regen as much as possible. I'm just trying to play as far back as I can without like dying, but ferrying regen out to yourself is what's needed. Like if you want to kind of stay competitive in this lane, yes, we've killed them twice, but we're really low, and so they have the advantage over us. then make sure you're bringing out regen. And as I do here with my courier, my Willow gets out of position and ends up dying, and I can't save him, so he ends up dying. And it kind of goes back to the fact that he didn't bring out regen. He was like half HP, ends up dying, whereas I bought a salve. And I'm also buying 2 mangoes that I'm going to drop for my lane partner over here as well. So if one of your lane partners does die, whether it's in the off lane or the safe lane, you can do this. Just drop your items, and then they'll be able to bring it to you when they TP back to lane. So really important that you do that. I think those are probably the 2 main lane mechanics, or lane kind of things to really keep in mind, is go when you have a level advantage, and also if one of you dies, make sure you bring the other person's items in the laning phase. And again, and this is where kind of the strength of... the strength of having the lane back, yeah? So if the lane was here, we wouldn't be able to do this dive because it would be in the tower, but because it's kind of like in the middle here, we was able to just sort of set up a dive because Lion was a bit too far up, got caught by the bramble, and then we was able to sort of go straight onto him. And again, just trying to get the lane back and keep CSing when I can. And right now, like, we're destroying this Drow right now, 7-2 versus 16-4, and it's because she feels scared to come up to this lane. Now, you'll see in the next few minutes kind of thing, we get a bit too cocky in the lane phase, and we end up trying to dive too far, and end up kind of slowly throwing this lane a little bit, because again, I should be sort of bringing out more regen, getting back to full HP, resetting because they've already reset because Lions died and come back to base kind of thing. So we need to be kind of resetting. So I sort of see, like, I'm like below half HP and I'm looking to go on this Lion, so I need to be a bit more careful and just reset him. Maybe I should have brought a salve out instead of brought a ring of regens, build towards my soul ring. So a few things like that. It's really important that you reset the lane with regen, with lane positioning, for example, because right now, obviously, like, they have the lane positioning where they want. All our kills so far have been happening because we've been out of fire. I end up like kind of not spearing onto the line as well, so it's a few kind of mistakes. I go into tower and then up dying kind of thing. It's too forced, you know. Like, we were winning the lane through CS, we were winning the lane through kills as well, and it's like that's just a bad mistake for myself trying to force the kill when there was no need, because I didn't have like full HP, full mana, and we didn't have the lane control, which had been working so well for us in the last period. And I end up kind of doing the same mistake here again as well. Like, we had the advantage to start with, and I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling a bit cocky, and as a result, we end up kind of going. I miss my W. Like, a few mistakes here. Go under tower, like getting well too cocky, and ends up dying. And this death, the first one was bad. This one is horrible for me because I don't have a TP, so I'm having to walk all the way back to lane. So that was a really bad death for me. CS obviously is now back in favour of the Drove, 15-5, and now I'm 18-4. So just these kind of small overextensions is really, really bad. And you need to, like, particularly, and it happens at my rank as well. Like, I'm Immortal, but, you know, I can do better, and, you know, maybe you're a different rank, maybe you're even higher than me. Like, these are the things that will kind of push you extra and push you forward, because now Dro's back and he's kind of back in this lane where, you know, the first 3 or 4 minutes he had already lost the lane, but because of my 2 bad dives, he's back in. He's like higher level than me, he's level 5 and level 4, and he has like the same CS as me now as well. So I have Soul Ring flying out. Soul Ring, like, really, really important, so I'm kind of man up. This is like a bit of a different dive here because obviously we had the lane control. We was able to like chase him down, but Willow wasn't able to secure the Bramble Blades, and so we kind of just need to reset. In terms of skill build here, like, I end up getting 1 point in Bulwark, which, if you think about it and we look at it, like, before I go up here, it's actually such a good value point. Because of a few reasons. Firstly, because, you know, 40% front reduction is absolutely huge, and obviously 20% side reduction as well. If you think about it, Bristleback's passive himself, if you look at it, he at max level it's 40% on the back, and that's at max level. Level 1 is 40% on the front. And obviously, if I'm playing against a hero like Drow, play a hero against like Lion, just in terms of the laning phase, if they're trying to keep like harassing me while I'm trying to get CS, this 40% really does add up. And not only that as well, but the God's Rebuke is obviously good if you level it up, but it's actually kind of a good good at level 1 as well. It doesn't need to be leveled up. The crit damage goes from 150 to 190%, and as I'm low level, the crit percentage isn't that important really, because I have low damage. 150% of 72 damage in comparison to 190% of 72 damage is very, very minimal really. It's like an extra maybe 20 damage, and for the single point in bulwark, really, really useful. Plus it has an active now as well that it can redirect damage onto someone else, onto me. So if my Willow's getting attacked, I can bulwark perhaps. These are kind of things, and I just think it's a great value point. Maybe you won't pick up in every lane, but I think particularly in lanes where you're playing against double ranged, level 1 bulwark is really, really good. So again, they're kind of still feeling threatened. Willow, kind of, I missed my spear. Like, there's just kind of a few mistakes here and there when it comes to spell casting, and it's sort of costing us kills in this lane. I mean, ideally, like, what you should definitely be thinking of doing nowadays is, obviously I can spear away, but when they added the God's Rebuke to have the speed slow duration increased from 1.5 to 2 seconds, the ideal kind of engagement or initiation when it comes to your spear is to God's Rebuke first, if you can, to get into melee range, and then to Spear of Mars, because they're so slowed down that you can't almost miss Spear of Mars. It's very, very difficult. But you'll see throughout this game that I kind of try and spear before God's Rebuke, and it just doesn't work out as well as if I God's Rebuked and then speared, and it makes it a lot easier. So Willow's going back to base, so just remember, like, keep in mind that whenever your lane partner is kind of leaving you, you need to play a lot more defensive. Like, I'm kind of playing back, trying to pull the creep wave when I can, but obviously when he's back, I can play a lot more aggressive now. Again, the lane isn't really where I want it to be. I've kind of wanted to get him to pull this creep wave for a while now, but he hasn't done it once, but maybe I should have done it myself. If he's not doing it, I need to do it, because, as I've said before, all the deaths and all the kind of bad initiations and bad goes in this lane is because we haven't had the creep lane back, the creep wave back. If we had a good creep equilibrium, like, we can dive this trove whenever we want to. But all it really needs is a decent maze from herself. I can set up, again, got good positioning, and I spear into the extra maze for the extra damage and into a tree as well, and we secure the kill on the drone. So, kind of, we had a really good start in the lane, then we kind of, like, fumbled a little bit, a few bad deaths, and then that kill down to Drow kind of secures this lane, because I think she's going to end up wanting to maybe go jungle, because I'm closing in on level 6. So we sort of dive here on the line, like, as long as there's no, like, rotation from the mid, we should be okay, like, and we can end up killing the lion as well. Oh, for a while. He ends up hexing a creep. Kind of missed bad click there. This is kind of a decent play for myself. I'm so close to level 6 that I end up killing the creep here, end up getting level 6, and I'm able to secure the kill on the draw as well. So that is just kind of a decent play actually for myself, and obviously end up securing again into an extra one of the Bramble mazes. But always kind of keep in mind how close you are to the next level. Even if it wasn't level 6, perhaps I can kill one extra creep if it's low, which it was. I could get an extra level, which makes all the difference when it comes to sort of the extra damage. But in this case, it was really big because it was my level 6. So small play there, kind of nice. Makes up for all the kind of bad plays I've done so far. So right now, you want to kind of keep in mind. So this lane, the lane stage is starting to kind of end now. We've killed Dro twice. She doesn't have a TP either, because she's TP back. So she'll probably be going back to jungle. Not only that, but my AA is now bottom with me as well, because I guess they're kind of too pressured in this lane. So PL will eventually want to go jungle, and so will Dro as well. So I need to take the initiative and really try and take down this tower. I've talked about in my other videos time and time again, whenever you play the offlane, so critical that you take the enemy safe lane tier 1 tower, because it opens up the map. And not only does it open up the map, but it opens up the map for your carry. Most games now, the offlaners will win. In this case, I won my offlane, and the enemy team won their offlane as well. So for it to kind of balance out, I need to be doing better than my enemy offlane by taking this tower, because once I take this tower, PL can play down here, and I can swap and rotate top and play top against their kind of stronger lane presence. So I'm just kind of focusing on this lane and trying to take this tower while my supports are killing their supports as well. I could be with them, but it's really important that we take this tower. So I ended up killing the wave, and end up using Soul Ring, and it's a kind of a really nice item, Soul Ring, because I can use it, and then I can use both my Spear of Mars and my God's Rebuke Ends up giving me about 150 mana, which is about very similar to the mana cost of both my spells here, and ends up killing a creep wave kind of from 4 to nothing. So really important that I take this tier 1 tower. Like, I could be kind of messing around, taking fights in here, but I've talked, you know, time and time again about how important this tower is. I want to take this tower, and then I can get involved in these team fights if they carry on going. This is just far more important than any kind of kills I can get up here, and it looks like my team's doing okay anyway, so it doesn't matter so much that I'm not there. You know, in some ways, they're making space for me to allow me to take this tower, and that's fine, and I'm happy to do that. So obviously, in terms of item builds, I've got my Soul Ring now, got my Phase Boots, and I'm bringing over some more kind of small build-up items. Normally, like, you can build a Bracer, and perhaps in this game I probably should have, because of the high magic damage they have. But because of the fact that you have, as a Mars, your regular item build is that they really do turn over very quickly. Like, you have a lot of small items, as we end up killing the Wyvern up here. So this is the move I was talking to you about. Take the tier 1 tower, and immediately I rotate top. Obviously, I was a bit too late to secure the kill on the Wyvern, but this is where I want to be playing for the next 3 or 4 minutes. So it allows the PL to play bottom. He has like the wave bottom, he has these 2 camps, and he also has this area as well. And this is the area he wants to be playing. So whether you play carry, make sure you, like, your offlane takes that tier 1 tower, and if you're playing the offlane, make sure you take it, and then also that you rotate top. If you rotate top, the carry is going to naturally rotate bottom, and it's the safest place he wants to be, because the enemy players and the enemy team want to kill the carry, and they also want to take the enemy's tier 1 safe lane tower. But because I'm probably the strongest hero on the map right now, it's best that I play in front of this tower, protect it, and also allow the carry to play in the safest position, which is down bot. BSJ talks about it all over again, like about the dead lane, etc, etc. Nothing new here. But yeah, going back to the items, like, so I'm end up building straight into a Vlad's, but because I didn't buy a Bracer, like, having a Windlace is such a good value item. I'm seeing, like, carries play. Like, I saw Arteezy, I was watching a replay of Arteezy on Nagasarem. He went 2 Wraith Bands, went straight into a Windlace. Like, for an item so cheap, 250 gold for 20 movement speed is just so huge. Like, it's like the same as one of my talents. For 250 gold, and I have a spare slot, it's so good now. Not only that, but because obviously all the neutral items are have their own kind of slot, that you have an extra slot in your regular inventory. It's really important that you fill out your inventory, because you'll eventually have your neutral item put in there, for example. So my team's playing off elsewhere, which is fine. I mean, but ideally, if you think about it this way, PL wants to farm, TO wants to farm, and the 2 most important towers for me as our team to defend is this tower and the mid tower. But the mid tower is going to be eventually pushed out and kind of defended by TA. So the only other tower I need to defend myself is this tower, tier 1 tower top. All these other kills, like the deaths on my AA and the deaths on the Willow, aren't that important. They die, yeah, but the enemy team isn't getting any objectives. They aren't getting anything really value out of the kills, as long as I'm positioned in this place here. So it's really key that I stay here. PL, like, is playing kind of the wrong part of the map, and ends up. I mean, I end up dying here because we end up kind of pushing the trying to dive in on the Wyvern, and the Phoenix rotates in, and I think the Phoenix dies, the PL dies as well. But I mean, if PL is bottom playing this map, maybe the Willow is with me and we can kill the Wyvern a lot easier. Like, PL doesn't want to be joining these kills, to be honest. It just doesn't need to happen. And because he's there, we're kind of feeling like we want to go on him. So just kind of wrong positioning from the PL, kind of, and this is the thing, like, when you are maybe playing the wrong part of the map, it forces the rest of your team to play the wrong part of the map as well. So it's really important that you play the right part of the map, so that your other team can then be enabled to do the same thing as well. But, like, we have kind of the superior late game as well. We have TA and we have PL, and so for the most part, the status quo of just us farming is kind of fine with us, you know. Yes, I died there, but they didn't take the tower. Like, they're not getting them any really big objectives with these kills, and this is kind of showing the strength of having AA and Mars. Easy setups for the Ice Blast, and anyone who comes in this lane is going to die, which is fine. They like kind of end up going on the Willow and the PL here. But Willow dies, PL survives, and again they get a kill, but they don't get like anything of value or worth. I try and secure the bounty runes in the meantime, and Tro is trying to juke out my spear, but I was just waiting for him to move, and we get him. Simple as that. PL ends up dying here. Kind of a ballsy play by the Phoenix actually to walk up with no vision, but ends up securing him. And I mean, PL should have just TB'd there, to be honest. Phoenix has no way of stopping TB, but what can you do? So again, kind of I'm sort of putting myself in this position. Whenever I have the chance to push the tower or someone leaves the lane, I'm going to do it. In the meantime, though, obviously I'm just kind of building up my items, allowing my TA to farm, allowing my PL to farm, and like as of right now, like TA top net worth, I'm top net worth with him. PL has still decent farm as well, and we're okay with how the status quo is going. As you can see, Dro's low, Lion's low, Skyrath is low, and this is just kind of, we don't need to force anything. We're 6k up at 16 minutes, like, you know, miss spear there by myself. Expect a lot more of those, to be honest. That's not just the end of what happens. So this, I mean, the iron build really for Mars is pretty, I think, cookie cutter like every single time. I think you go Vlad's into Blink, into BKB, and or Deso, depending on whether you need it. In this game, I had a slight variation of it. I still go Vlad's, I still go Blink, but I end up going Pipe as well, which is pretty better for the team, but kind of worse for me in the sense that if I don't have BKB, I'm probably going to die, which I do a few times in this team fights. But it's a lot better for my team in the sense that there's so much magic damage, AoE magic damage, that my Pipe is going to be able to block a lot of it. And as you can see here, I'm just playing the side of the map. Like, I'm not doing anything kind of extravagant. I'm just playing the side of the map that needs to happen. And as a result, we're getting further and further ahead just because we're playing the map more efficiently. They want to take this tower, but they can't unless they commit so many bodies to try and kill me. But because I'm so strong now, I've got 2,000 HP, and I can kind of do a counter initiation with my Arena of Blood. They don't want to take this tower, and because they don't want to take this tower, there's nowhere else for them to really play efficiently. Yes, Wyvern's stopping me from taking their tower, but as a result, I'm farming here, our team's farming here, and we're farming this side of the map as well as making plays over here as well. So we're given almost 60% of the map, whereas they're only using 40%. Kind of an aggressive dive by me, but I end up kind of surviving somehow, and TP's in, and we end up killing the Wyvern, which is pretty good. But I've got my Blink now as well, so this is also another thing that, you know, I just wanted to kind of sit in a lane, because there was like, it would have felt too forced if I needed to do something, as I'm just getting my health back from the creeps here with my Vlads. But now I've got Blink, I can maybe get a bit more aggressive because I have better forms of initiation. So kind of playing a defensive for the first 15-20 minutes, now I've got Blink, we can start doing things. And with Vlads, and obviously with a Desolator carrier like Dro, we can walk into Roche whenever we want. And it's kind of like, it was very passive for those 5 minutes, but you need to understand that, you know, it wasn't, the onus wasn't on us to make things happen. Like, we have heroes like Drow, we have heroes like PL, TA, like the heroes that want to kind of have a little bit of time to just farm. And because I'm not kind of going out looking for things and forcing things, we're able to kind of get things like the Roche. And now we're able to make plays happen because TA has the Blink, has the Deso, has the Aegis, and now we're looking to make plays. Nice kind of spear onto Wyvern here, and like one kind of trick that I always use when I'm like looking for the spear is, as you see, I'm trying to use the bulwark, but they're not right clicking me, they're just killing me with magic damage. But kind of a decent kill, decent trade in the end. We end up killing the Wyvern and the Skyrath, and we end up taking the tower, so not so bad that I died there. And like when you play the offlaner, you have to kind of be almost willing to sacrifice your body. Like, you're not the most important player or kind of hero in the game. So, as you said, after that kill, I end up going Vlad, end up going Pipe. BKB is also a good choice, but I was looking for more of a, if I can enable my PL. Obviously, the Pipe's really good with PL because it works onto his illusions as well, so they're going to struggle to kill his illusions if I go Pipe. So it's not like the most obvious item pickup, but I think in this game it's very, very good. Normally you might just go Blink, Vlad's, BKB, and then maybe Desolator, but we already have a Desolator, so I'm just needing to enable my cause. Yeah, so it's sort of like kind of the whole idea of like knowing when you need to get aggressive, when to play defensive, and when to just sort of play passive and farm. And now we have the items. Now we have Aegis. I'm just going to be pushing out waves, looking, and obviously when I'm pushing out waves, it allows my team to converge, and it restricts the enemy's movement. So then we can then group up and take towers because Aegis is still on TA. We want to try and force a team fight, as we're obviously a lot stronger. 11k up by now, and we have the Aegis. We just want to force fights. But the best way to do that is forcing waves in, so it forces the enemy team to either defend a tower or let it go because they don't have the ability to trade because they can't split push because lanes are pushed in. So as for talents, I think the level 10 ones are both kind of pretty decent. Strength and movement speed. As there's going to be an engagement here. Like in scenarios like this, just trying looking for. I ended up getting orchided here, which is kind of a shame actually. They had a high ground vision, so I wanted to get a nice arena of blood. End up getting one on the Phoenix, but that spear was really critical miss because he ends up getting the egg off, and we end up all wiping here really. So very poor team fight from myself really. TA ends up dying, and you know I end up dying, and and that's all because that Phoenix gets the egg off there. And as you see, if you just go back, I mean, it's obviously bad that I missed the spear, but one of the biggest reasons why I missed the spear is because I didn't actually God's Rebuke before I speared. If I get that spear off, he dies here. Instead, I spear and then Rebuke instead of the other way around, and Phoenix gets off his egg, and we all end up wiping. So kind of a really bad kill there, really, and. Just a misplay that ends up costing the whole team really, so very costly mistake, but what can you do? Fighting into their vision as well, a little bit greedy, but PL tries to survive with some bait tactics, but does not, so decent fight for them, but we're still very high up. I mean, this Phoenix is on godlike, so this Phoenix is owning, but luckily we're still 9k up, and at the end of the day it's only a Phoenix, so it doesn't matter if he's like really godlike. The farm is still in our favour anyway. And that's where, like, you know, kills don't mean as much as kind of playing the map properly. Like, we've been playing the map properly, and even after that wipe, we're 7-8k up. So, what can you do? So yeah, going back to talents, don't really mention them that much. I think in this game, speed isn't really the key. I have Blink Dagger. They're not going to really be chasing me down. Like, the team fight is going to start, and when it starts, it's going to go and get pretty hefty. I end up using a Ring of Blood here just to kind of secure my exit. Like, they can't run me down with that up. And obviously, just the extra strength is really nice because it gives me a lot of EHP because I have Hood and I also have the Nether Shoal as well, which is really nice. As for the 15, again, they have a lot of magic damage, so armor isn't really that effective. Not only that, but obviously Dro goes through armor as well, so more impactful that I go for the damage. And so, like, right now, like, the team fights have been a little bit messy, really. We're kind of taking team fights whenever we can kind of find them, instead of kind of doing them methodically, like pushing out waves, going for towers. But a kill onto the Phoenix was, you know, possible, and it forces a buyback, so we instantly buy back, and we instantly back, sorry, after each buyback. And it's really important that you kind of respect buybacks like that, because if, like, even if line is dead, that we try and kind of keep on pushing. If they end up like taking a fight and wiping us, we just end up enabling that buyback to be a good buyback. Right there, right then and there, that buyback is bad if we just back off because they don't get anything for it. And now, next time we take a team fight and we kill Phoenix, we can just push high ground without any worry if we kill Phoenix, for example. So just really trying to, whenever someone buys back, just back off. Like, particularly in scenarios like this where it was big enough. I mean, it is their mid player. He had the highest net worth in the team. Just respect it and back off. Like, that really nullifies his net worth as well. Now I'm higher than him. All three of our cores are higher than their top net worth. So we don't need to throw it. Like, we know we have the late game. Take it slow. We still have the next row to be coming up soon. And the next team fight we take, kill Phoenix, win the game, basically. That's kind of what I'm telling my team right now. So in terms of neutral items, like I talked about the Nether Shoal being really useful, but I have another item coming out that's probably even more useful, which is the Mindbreaker, the silence on attack, because of the fact that it actually applies on the God's Rebuke. So really, really huge. Because if I can get it onto an AoE, I can end up silencing like 3 or 4 targets just with one God's Rebuke. So really, really useful. And I have pipe. I'm building towards a BKB anyway, because as you're seeing, even though I have pipe and I'm taking a lot less magic damage, I'm still dying, which is one of the factors. So I need BKB, I need magic immunity, but more importantly as well, we need another hero that to hit the egg. And obviously, if I'm getting slowed by his spirits, I need BKB to take him off to then hit the egg effectively. Otherwise, I'll be too slow. So now with the initiation, as it really always should be, it should be Blink into God's Rebuke into Spear of Mars, because particularly if I'm going on a hero like Phoenix, I have Mindbreaker, I'm going to silence him. We end up seeing like a lion here protecting, trying to deward a ward here. I end up going, which maybe was a bad mistake, because TA and Willow TB down bottom, but like in scenarios like this, they probably, I mean, I shouldn't have gone here if they TB bot, for sure, but whether they should have TB bot is another factor. Like, they saw maybe Phoenix pushing in, but it's really important that you defend vision, because if we can keep this ward up here, like, we can take this tower and take a team fight whenever we want to. Instead, they end up TBing bottom, and, you know, not doing too much with it, but I should have perhaps just conceded the ward vision there. So right now, like, we're probably just waiting for the next Roche or waiting for a good opportunity to go, because we know we're really far ahead, but breaking their high ground is kind of difficult unless we have like a significant advantage with Roche or with pickoffs, for example, because they have heroes like Wyvern, they have heroes like Phoenix that really kind of benefit from these kind of small chokeholds. I end up to being up top, which it luckily worked out fine. Phoenix was like getting runes, I think, or trying to set up for getting runes, and he wasn't there in that team fight. Because if he was there, then that would have been bad, because it would have been 4v5. But I do the best I could. I TP'd top, so I just try and push up the waves as quick as possible, and then try and connect to my team. And luckily, the team fight didn't happen there. So right now, we're just going to try and pen them in their base, just kind of pushing out waves, waiting for Roche, getting as much farm as we can, because we have the jungle available to us. Kind of doing this kind of trick where cutting the wave, staying on the high ground, so that our creeps can hit the tower. Luckily, I get a blink off because I see the Dro just in time. But right now, like when we're this far up, obviously we just want to take a team fight whenever we can. If they're outside of base, we want to fight them. It's just inside of base we don't. So all we need really is vision to take a good team fight. But it's all rather messy right now. But decent arena of blood. Again, like the Phoenix eggs is kind of killing us time and time again. We ended up able to take it this time, and obviously Phoenix no buyback. PL runs forwards or upwards. Maybe could have kind of carried on the team fight, but maybe he got scared by the Lion buyback, and as a result, Willow ends up dying. But Lion's out of position, and they end up killing the Dro as well. So overall, not too bad. But I think they just got a few misplays. But in the end, it works out alright. Dro dies, Phoenix dies, and Lion bought back and died as well. So as you can see, no, well, doesn't even give us a good fire recap, but overall, not too bad. But Roche is up, and obviously, again, with the buyback from Dro, more than willing to back off and then take Roche, and then end the game after that, because after all these buybacks, where, you know, our mountain is so much more gold that there's literally nothing they can do. As I am slowly building into BKB, I'm just sort of telling myself, let's just go Roche. We have DD on the PL, and TA is up in 25 seconds. And I'm just going to try and push out the waves as well. Really important that you kind of push out waves before you take Roche, because if this wave's pushed out, they can easily kind of backstab us without us having any kind of vision. So again, I'm just trying to push it out, give us vision on this side, because we didn't have obviously any ward on here. So it allows us to take Roche a lot easier, kind of again penning them into their base. So we end up taking Roche, and so now I don't think there's any buyback on the Dro, and Felix doesn't have buyback, but that's because he doesn't have the gold for it. So right now, if we see a good opportunity, again we go for it. But it's very difficult to push into high ground. I think in this patch and in this meta as well, pushing high ground is just kind of more difficult. So I'm sort of just saying, again, let's pen them in their base. They're going to come out eventually. I end up pushing out bot. So we can take it slow. Again, we have heroes like PL and TA that are going to outscale heroes like Drow and Phoenix, as long as we don't throw. So pretty standard stuff. I've eventually got my BKB now as well, so when I go in, I'm going to be invulnerable. And this is kind of the importance of having BKB on Mars. Like, at the end of the day, you're an initiator when you have Blink, and you need BKB to kind of make sure that your initiations go smoothly. I end up going on the line here, we end up killing him. It makes me force a BKB because my team went around. But they still don't feel kind of comfortable in pushing, even with Lion, because lanes aren't really pushing effectively. They were jungling instead of pushing out waves, which is kind of bad. Because if that Lion dies and we have like a wave right next to their tower, we know he doesn't have buyback and we can probably hit the tower a little bit, but instead they're kind of a little bit scared of pushing in because Lion's already back up now. So we end up just waiting. I'm kind of just trying to wait for my BKB to come back up as well. Just again, kind of just keep him in the base. They end up getting kind of pushed out a little bit. TA's forced to use his BKB, but there's a moment here actually where I know that because obviously before the whole team fight, I'm thinking to myself like, what is my job? What is my role in this team fight? I have two roles really. One is either to catch and kill the Phoenix before he pops egg. Which is probably unlikely because we don't have the greatest kind of follow-up stuns. The route from Willow won't do it. Or is to kind of jump on the Dro. But now she's got BKB, if I pop Arena of Blood, she can walk out of it. So ideally it's for the supporting cast. However, there's a moment here where Dro pops BKB, and immediately once I know she's popped BKB, I can jump on it and there's nothing that they can do against me. I end up popping another BKB here because I'm kind of scared. Right here, so now Dro's popped BKB, so I know that any opportunity I can go, I'm going to go and jump on her. So I see pop BKB. I don't have BKB myself, but I know that if I can catch the Drow, it's going to work out fine, and it does. We're not killing the Phoenix as well in that. So it's kind of both of the two of my jobs and both of my roles were done. I killed the Phoenix before he got egg off, and I killed the Dro because she popped BKB. And because of that, just knowing what I need to do in the team fight, the game is basically over. Dro doesn't have buyback. I end up buying back because I know this is the push that we can just end the game straight away. We still have Aegis, and it's a 5 versus 4 with Aegis. And we can kind of go on them, just kind of refresh, reset. I have BKB up now. TA's in, kill 1, 5 versus 3. And again, a nice Arena of Blood. I have BKB now, we can just hit the egg easily. And that's basically the game. Hopefully you kind of was able to take something from it, and hopefully you enjoyed it. It was maybe a bit rusty. I haven't done one of these videos in a few months, and I haven't played Dota in a little while as well, and that's why this Mars performance was less than ideal. But I'm hopefully making a bit more videos now. I've got like a bit more time off from uni, so hopefully there'll be more content coming out. But if you like the video, guys, please do like and subscribe if you haven't. I'm closing in on a YouTube partnership, so it'd be really important that if you can subscribe. I appreciate all you do. And also, I am still doing coaching as well, so if you want to take some coaching, just hit me up in the comments down below. But other than that, guys, peace out. Keep banding and grinding. Peace.
Spreading enlightenment at the tip of my spear.